Machine guiding on the grinding machine. There's several different guides on here. The first one is on the end with the grinding wheel area. This covers most of the side of the grinding wheel, just in case something should happen and this wheel shatters while it's spinning. The pieces won't fly all over the place. The second one is right here. There's this eye shield. This should always be in the down position when you're grinding. It comes up like this for adjustments, but you don't want to run the machine this way because, again, if something should chip off and this is not in the way, you could get hurt. So I'll get that out of the way for demonstration purposes. Up here there's another guide that's adjustable. It should be within about 1/8 of an inch to the wheel. This is about 1/4 of an inch, so it needs to be readjusted. And in front here there's a tool post, tool rest, and another guide. This is set between 1/8 and 1/16, and this is right around 1/16 of an inch clearance here. You spin it by hand. You should make sure you clear it, but you don't want a big space in here because something could get caught and the wheel could break. As you can see with this setup here, this is really not good. There's a massive space in between here. I could put my fingers right in. That's dangerous. So whereas on the other side there was only a gap of about 1/16 of an inch. If I measure this, there is a 1-inch gap between here and the grinding wheel. That is not a good situation at all. Someone could get really hurt. They could get fingers caught in there. They could get parts caught in here, tool bits. And if something did happen, there's very little protection. Also on this side, the shield is up, the eye shield is up, so that's not helpful either. So as far as machine guiding goes, there's some things that need to be done to fix this grinder setup. Grinders actually are pretty dangerous because these wheels have the ability to break while they're running, especially if someone had damaged a wheel and hadn't been checked. So when these break, they're spinning so fast that the pieces just fly all over the place. So you really want to make sure that all the guides are in place and set up the way they're supposed to be. As far as drill presses go, this is the main guide that you'll see on most drill presses, especially if we have this step pulley set up with 2 V-belts. When this is spinning, when the motor's spinning, these V-belts connect pulleys, the power from the pulleys to over here, the spindle. But this can be dangerous. You can get your finger caught in there, and really all you have to remember is never to run this machine with this guide open. Just make sure it's closed all the way and clicked in place. That way people's hands stay safe. The belt sander has a couple different machine guides on here. One of them, the table itself is a sort of a guide because it protects you from the bottom side of the belt, from putting your hands down in this area where the belt spins. Up top, there is a top cover for the belt, and that should always be in place nice and snug. And over on the side here, there's a cover that is used to cover the belts that transmit power from the motor up to here. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward. There's not a lot to do for adjustments, but those are the machine guides that you would need to be aware of on pretty much any belt sander. The horizontal bandsaw's got several different machine guides on it. On the front of the machine where you're working, right here we have one blade guide that protects the operator from this area of the blade. That should be in place and locked at all times. It should never be up. So always make sure that it's in there and it's locked in place. 2 more of them here cover each of the pulleys, the blade rights. Make sure those are closed and locked. And on this particular model, there's an extra blade guide that swings over. You want to make sure that's in place as well. And if you ever have to change the speed of the blade, make sure that you put this back on. This is the guide that covers the pulleys and the belt. You don't get your fingers pinched or cut off. So that goes back in place. choice. And it's screwed. That's all.